for the stream to get back. I mean, if the referee does not have time to wait, they start the map anyways. It's better for the stream to actually look at the map.
Yeah. Also, yes, indeed, the general rule is that the maximum bitrate is 6,000 for Twitch, essentially. But even on a general case, I think it's good to not have too much bitrate. Like, even 2,000 is globally fine, and 3,000 will also be good, because then you avoid most of the stutters or potential lags. And then if needed, you reduce the qualities. But I think we're good with the HD. I don't think that's any problem. But I don't know, I don't have much of the stutters actually on my own behalf. Like on my own stream client.
And for me, it's fine as well. I mean, we just see the streamers stream directly on Discord, so we might have less stutters than in the actual stream, but yeah.
Yeah. But I just watch on phone as well, so I can interact with the chat, so you guys are not going to escape my eyes. But we're going to be back. This is the 10k Rise, which was picked by PaulIsGaming. And already taking a good advantage with the accuracies. As long as Paul does not drop too much, he can maintain a good lead, because OU is having a bit of struggle to build up the accuracy, being at 85-86%. Meanwhile, Paul is like around 94%, taking a good advantage here.
Absolutely. I mean, also just to tell our referee and our streamer, the names here are inverted, so if you guys can fix that, that would be appreciated for the stream. But yeah, so far, PaulIsGaming having a great advantage here, having 93% of accuracy, while OU is struggling much more with the map.
Yes, alright. Both of the players have found pretty much a range when it comes to accuracy. OU being at around 86, and Paul still at 93. But yeah, there's still a huge gap.
Then OU is literally like is pressing the key, like just look at their hits.
Yeah, unable to read, so he's like doing multi-presses as if it's like multiple chord jacks. Oh my god.
The thing is that this isn't chord jack tech, so they are not quite able to ghost that here.
Yeah, and it's also not simple, because you will need to put and execute a good speed. But Paul, you can clearly see him being more comfortable, at least with the fingers, and pretty much hitting some good patterns overall. Even if it's below 94%, that is still enough of a point against OU on this particular pick. So very well chosen, actually, for the beginning of the match.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you do good or not. The most important is that you do better than your opponent. And here, in this case, this is absolutely a really good pick here for PaulIsGaming here.
Actually, not that bad of a ratio on the side of Paul. 349 versus the 556. Also, for the chat, I hope my volume is a bit higher. Let me know. And I'm gonna ask the streamer if he can raise the volume of my colleague Pocket One as well, just so the overall level makes us too audible.
So with that first point being taken by PaulIsGaming here, we're not gonna get to see the second pick here, which is gonna be the 4K LN map.
Alright, so for most of the LN picks, I'm going to bet that OU is going to be going for that strategy. I'm very sure. Oh, I also realized a little funny thing on the screen. OU doesn't have a point. It's PaulIsGaming who won the point, so points need to be swapped. But yeah, other than that, I think OU is going to go for an LN strategy against Paul. That's at least what I'm betting with.
We'll have to see here. Because so far we have seen 7K warm-up here, which was an LN map here being won by OU here, and also thanks to our referee for asking both of the players to switch places here. So now this is less confusing here for the stream, so thank you.
Oh, okay, nice. So the players actually switched their places, so now we're going to be seeing Paul on the left side, OU on the right side, according to the screen we have. So it's going to be easier for people to follow them. And here we go on the second pick, 4K LN.
Absolutely, which is Ultimate Dance.
Alright, so far a good start for the two players.
Absolutely, even though OU having a better time here, having a little bit higher of an accuracy here, but both players still have seen the map, so not to worry about for both of the players. Still anything can happen.
Yeah, this is a pretty good mastery from the two players here with the LN releases, considering that even if they're not the shortest ones, they're fairly short, thus requiring good timings of each of the releases. But honestly, neck on neck so far, 0.25% between the two players so far.
So the map is quite long as well, 3 minutes and 30 seconds here. So both players will have to remain really consistent here, which is not unfortunately the case here for you, which is gonna be helping PaulIsGaming to climb back up here.
Yeah, this is gonna get interesting with the one miss from OU. But as long as the accuracy is on the side of OU, he is gonna be taking a good advantage as long as there's no other miss. And instead it's going to be a miss from Paul, which is not looking good considering that they're having the lower accuracy so far. We're soon at half the map.
Paul trading that miss back and now getting another one. So even the miscount here is on the side of the OU here. So OU here being in a really comfortable position here so far in the map.
Yep, almost 16,000 points of difference with a commendable combo that OU is building on this particular section. Paul is going to have a hard time to not only build up back the accuracy, but ensure to not have any other miss. Though it's also going to depend on OU if he ever misses again or not. Now for this section, we're not really getting too many close LNs. We also have some of the rice notes appearing, which is going to make the reading more tricky than before. Because when you have... oh, go ahead.
And OU getting another drop here, which is gonna decrease the lead just a little bit, but not quite. This was quite a clean one, so not too much difference here for the matchup here.
Yep, and we're at the last quarter of the map. So it all goes down to how the two are going to be able to hold the combo. Paul has been building a massive combo, 2,000 this time. Same as OU a little bit before, but OU also have a commendable combo. Paul is going to be dropping one more, and I think we're close to seal the deal, especially with this miss though. Unfortunate for Paul. But that was a fairly close pick, honestly. The two clearly knows how to play this kind of map. Lose 4K LNs.
Okay. And we're closer to the ending of the map here. And I think unless there's really a crash out here for OU, that's gonna seal the deal here.
Yep. Still pretty good scores from the two players, honestly. Better regular ratio on the side of OU with 1,879, but still good performance from the two of them, pretty much able to know how to release the LNs on a global scale. So, pretty clean.
clean scores overall. Both players have quite a huge number of 200s, but considering the map, the tricky races here, I don't know what OD the map is. It's OD, I think. Yep, it's OD 7.8, so it's actually quite high for a map like this. So those are clean scores overall for the players here.
Yes, sir.
And now we're gonna be seeing the 9K Rice map here, being picked by PaulIsGaming.
That makes sense. Going for the Rice once again on the side of Paul. And it's also going to be 9K, which is once again far from the 7K map. So, to me, out of all the maps, I think this 9K Rise is one of the hardest maps in this entire pool, considering some of the stairs and trail placements not being this comfortable and pretty easy to miss on the accuracy. So that's going to be an interesting point to see here.
Okay, especially considering in this map pool that we're gonna start to see, like in this case, harder and harder 9 and 10K Rice maps here. They're getting faster and faster and denser as well. I mean, just look at the star rating here.
Yep. 5.50. And also, considering that the map is on Rice, that tells a lot. Alright, here we go on the 9K Rice map.
Let's see how it goes for both of the players here. We wait for the client to sync up here on the side of Paul.
Maybe OU did not press the skip button, and he's not pressing it. He's not pressing it. Oh my god. We just got a panic button when the client was fine. It's okay. Anyways, so Paul is going to be at the 99% range already. Unfortunately, getting the miss while I speak. But OU, with the miss and especially the accuracy, he is going to be getting a disadvantage against Paul, who is more stable in the higher keys.
That is also quite tricky as well. I mean, look at those races. Like, to be really consistent here, you need to be really mastering those patterns in this high key mode. And that's unfortunately not the case for OU here, even though they're trying their best to catch up here for.
Yeah, but at least I gotta say they're a bit more stable than the 10K, because they're not dropping below 90%. 94.5% for OU, but meanwhile Paul has a commendable lead with the 96.3%.
Okay, so far halfway through in the map, and oh, it's already we're already halfway through the map, even though the map is like 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Like, time flies.
True. I don't remember if the outro of the song was mapped, but I'm pretty sure yes. It's only the intro that is not really mapped.
So far we have 20,000 lead here for PaulIsGaming. There's still just a little bit of a chance here for you if PaulIsGaming finds drops here, like in this case, but if it is traded back by OU, this is not gonna play in their favor.
Getting closer, there is a bit of trade between the two players, but Paul is actually getting quite an accuracy drop, which can be dangerous for Paul, because otherwise OU is going to be catching on this pick, but OU also got quite the misses here. Both of them missing on the stairs.
Is that while Paul is dropping accuracy, OU is dropping too, which means that the lead is actually growing up here.
Yep, and we're getting closer to the end. 20 seconds left.
This race very dangerous here for you.
Yeah, that is going to be enough for Paul to be taking the point.
And Paul actually S-ranking the map. Quite clean,
Yeah, pretty
considering the difficulty of the map here.
Yeah, it's not many people that will eventually get an S rank on this type of map, especially. So getting an S rank here is actually very good. Also enough against the opponent.
Absolutely. And the thing with this map is like that score difference mainly plays to accuracy here, because I mean there's still a miscount difference here, 69 nice versus 55, but I mean look at the 200 count here, 180 versus 107. This difference is quite big, which allows Paul to get that point firmly.
Alright, this is going to be interesting. So we're seeing an 8k Rice this time. Picked by
47
OU.
plus 1.
I don't think I expected OU to ever go with a Rice pick for the match, but alrighty.
I mean, this is the 8K map. I mean, in the qualifiers we did see OU get quite a score in the 8K qualifiers map, and I think this map was more Rice oriented, so I think this pick actually makes sense here in this case.
Yeah, I believe you. I take the word for it.
And I mean, looking at the chat, it looks like OU is more of a BMS guy, so I mean, yeah, if OU does play BMS, then they are clearly comfortable with the scratches here.
And right here we go. No mirror for the two players. The scratch is going to be on the left for the two players.
And Paul not having the better start here, while OU right off the bat having a much cleaner start here.
Yeah, and also these piano stairs are not the only one through the map, like the one we've seen in the intro. Yeah, the difference is already quite big. We're close to 20,000 points already. And OU is quite stable with a 99%, while Paul is at 96 or around 96%.
Yeah, you said OU is quite stable on their accuracy here, and I don't think this is gonna lower by any means, because it looks like they're very comfortable on the map so far.
Yeah, unfortunately, quite a good bunch of misses from time to time from Paul, especially with some of the middle notes. But yeah, the difference is already quite big, considering we're halving the map. 80,000 points of difference.
When you look at the hits of Paul, it looks like sometimes he's holding the notes, even though this is a Rice map, so this definitely says that they are not quite comfortable with the map here.
Oh, that is true. Like, even though they're not personally the most comfortable, they do have a not bad reading overall. I think it's more about some of the key presses on the side of Paul that eventually, because of the timing, it just becomes late, but yeah, I think this is definitely the point of OU. The difference is really big, and we're on the last quarter of the map.
Yeah, we're heading towards the ending of the map here, and there's not much Paul can do here, because I think even if there's a really big crush out on the side of OU, I think that's a sealed point here for them. thing. That jack always scares me, but it is actually being hit by Oyu there with a really clean score.
Yeah, the jack is actually quite evil because you have to do it with one hand, the 4 notes. Scratch note, including the 3 notes of the left.
I mean, imagine this map with a BMS controller. That would be evil.
Honestly, I can see why. But I think it's more easy than we think. Because you're just going to, you hit the scratch note with the left hand, and then it's the 3 on the left using the BMS controller. But because you're using the right hand, it becomes easier.
But imagine
I
you're
think.
sight reading the map.
Oh, true. Now this is another case.
But yeah, so far 2-2 for both of the players here. So we're basically at the BO5 setting here.
Yeah, we have a close match today so far.
We're getting into the 90 LN map here, being picked by Paul, which is gonna be Matt Silver.
Alright, so we're getting the other 9k map, 9k LN. This time picked by Paul. So Paul is wanting to stick with the higher keys, which is very fair. But then I wonder what Paul is going to be picking. If he's gonna go for the lower keys, like 5k for example.
Yeah, especially because the thing is that 8k, I don't think this is to the advantage of Paul, as we've seen with the 8k Rise map just before. So I think the 8k LN map, this is not a good pick for them. And considering there's no more 9k and 10k picks on the pool, that means, yeah, maybe for the next pick they're gonna go for 4 and 5k here. Maybe 6k, but 6k, I think there's much more chance for Oyo to be ahead here.
Alright, so far it's a bit of a similar case from the previous map where one player has a very good advantage against the other one in terms of accuracy, and Paul is the one taking the lead.
For both players is struggling quite a bit, but Paul is struggling less than Oyo here in this case.
Yeah, this is quite an evil map. There's still a bunch of rice nodes combined with the LNs here. Some of the releases are not so simple, especially on the previous section.
As we're freeze through the map here, about 30,000 points here on the side of Paul, and this section is quite evil here. There's a bunch of races along with those LNs. This is quite technical here to hit properly.
Yeah, this is quite a section for sure. Between the symmetrical paths. These looks like pipelines as well when you look at the section. Alright, here we go. Onto the last KI. Still a good lead on the side of Paul with 40,000 points of difference.
Oh, the lead is actually decreasing a little bit. I think quite a scare from Paul, but I think that's still gonna do it for them.
And that ended up enough for Paul to be taking the point here.
There's actually less misses on the side of Oyu here, but the thing is that accuracy-wise, Paul actually played much better the map here than Oyu.
Yep.
Now we're getting into the 7K Rise map here, being picked by Oyu here. So far, no breakpoints.
Alright, so going already into the 7K Rise, this is going to be an interesting pick where I'll still bet that OU will take an advantage here.
Yeah, I think...
Oh, okay, resetting the colors. That's good.
I mean, better late than never here.
True. Actually, insane job though. Like, I don't think I know how to do these cancellings as well for the stream. Props to the streamer, because this is something I've never known this method of like cancelling the color of the pics like this. So big ups.
Yeah, thanks to the streamer. I mean, thanks to the streamer as well for streaming this match, because, I mean, without him, you wouldn't be on this stream right now, so...
Yeah, as well as showing the players what they're capable of, as well as the potential of having a very close match as well.
We're waiting for Paul to get a regular here. Pretty clean accuracy so far from them. The thing is that this is a 7K quite hard map here, so I think that they need to hurt as well on the combo side of things if they want to gain that pick.
Alright, so far very neck and neck, having a very good start on the two sides.
So there's quite some jacks here and there with some bursts, so you really need to be really consistent throughout the map. But so far both players are FCing the map here.
Yeah, but very good accuracies as well. Ooh, attention the miss from Paul, but very clean miss regardless.
Yeah, this is actually trained back here by you. Which means that Paul is actually gonna get the lead again, considering they have the better overall accuracy there.
And this is gonna be even more difficult, considering that there's less than half of the map left. This is a very short map. Second miss from Paul, third one. Ah, man, unfortunate here, because it's... OU is being very stable at the drop so far, but Paul has been dropping a few misses from here and there. This is not forcefully an easy section either, considering how the second drop looks like between these stairs as well as core jack placements.
OU here having a 1000 combo here. Quite a clean combo as well, never mind.
Miss? No trade by Paul! Oh man, I think that seals the deal, and yeah. That's gonna be a point for OU. First breakpoint of the match.
No,
wait, I'm stupid. I'm stupid.
Yeah, this is not the breakpoint.
This is his point. This is his point. See, that's what happens when some of the points here, and this is a fun fact from the casters, when there's a very close point, sometimes you just get lost. Sometimes. And that's your lesson of the day. But yeah, very close actually. Better regular ratio actually ends up on the side of Paul as well with 370.
I mean, yeah, the accuracy side was on the side of Paul here, but unfortunately, Paul is not being able to hold the combo quite well with those 6 drops, while OU being able to only drop 3 times, which allows them to get that point.
Now, what's going to be interesting is the breakpoint part, because I don't know if Paul has any secured map left, considering the maps that are left right now. And he goes for the 5K Rise.
Okay, being F1055 by Tabatu here. And the thing is that, I mean, yeah, the 4K Rise map here was won by PaulIsGaming here. So, this, I mean, I think so. I mean, I don't recall, but this is definitely one of their better picks so far. So they still have definitely a chance to get to match point situation here. So I mean, I think this is as well going to be quite a close matchup as well. I mean, so far in the beginning of the match, we've seen not so close points with quite huge leads here, but with this 7k Rise map and this 5k Rise as well, I think we're getting closer and closer maps, and there's more and more chances that we see breakpoints.
Yes, indeed.
And here we go with the 5k Rise map. PaulIsGaming versus Oyo. Who is gonna get that point? Let's see.
Alright, so far pretty good on that grains of sand section.
We get to the first couple of bursts in this map. Both players handling them quite well, so nothing to worry about, even though PaulIsGaming having just a little bit of a lead here, but Oyo getting that drop, allowing Paul to get a little bigger of a lead here.
Yep. Ooh, there's been some accuracy drop here, thus Paul is getting a bit more points, getting closer to the 10,000 points difference, especially with the miss from Oyu. Now, one thing I forgot to mention since the beginning of the match, and I think some people have seen it in the chat, but for those watching the video, Oyu is not with his usual setup, so still having a very close match, 3-3, says a lot. And I believe... I'm not sure if Paul has his own setup as well, or like if he's with a temporary setup as well. I don't remember. Alright, trade between the two of them. No more full combo from Paul. But yeah, we're half in the map.
Yeah, halfway through in the map here. Paul being about 20,000 points of lead here. So, I mean, there's still a chance here for you to catch up here.
There's definitely a chance, but it also depends on how well Paul is going to be holding into the second PI of the map. And here we are, onto the second drop. Gonna be a little bit more dense, especially on some of the chords that actually are bigger than the rest of the map.
But
two misses so far from Paul. Oyu is actually holding so far in the section with a nice combo. One more miss from... No! Oh, it's shifting towards Oyu. Another miss from Paul. Oyu is holding in. He's not wanting to drop the combo. Not wanting at all. Taking a nice lead of 8,000 points. Holding very well this section.
They are very well.
I think that's enough.
Very consistent. Let's hope that they do not drop in the ending as well, because that would be quite clean.
Yeah, no chance. This is clearly the end. Yeah, that is the first breakpoint of the match. Oh, man.
During the whole map, the advantage was of the side of Paul, but the thing is that those drops near the ending really caused them to lose a lot of scores here, which allowed Oyu to actually take that point here.
Yep.
And things that now we're getting into the 8k map here, being picked by Oyu there. And as we've seen in the 8k Rise map, this is gonna be quite tough here for Paul if they really want to get into tiebreaker situation here.
Alright, going with the 8k LN map. Alright, I'm actually not having much idea who is really going to be taking the point for this particular pick, but curious to see how close I could get between the two players.
We'll have to see, but maybe you actually kept their pick for the last moment here. So I mean, see, this is still quite different from the 8-key rice map here, but there's still the scratch to consider here. And Paul might not be able to quite play them as well as Ryu there.
Alright, so far advantage is going on the side of OU. But it's not by too much. 10,000. Oh no. Okay, trades. One more miss from Paul. I don't know if he's missing on the. No, he's missing on one of the lands every time there's a scratch. And this is already being quite a lead for OU. 30,000, 40,000 points of difference. The lead keeps increasing, and OU is in a commendable lead on the first quarter of the map. Going to be very hard for Paul to be able to catch on the following patterns, especially these trading a lens. And two more misses once again from Paul, not being able to hold the combo, unfortunately. Oh, you're just continuing on increasing the lead so far.
Okay, alright, so far we're 1/3 of the map here. You having quite a huge lead here. There's about 4% of a difference here between both of the players here.
The difference also keeps increasing. We're at 80,000 points of difference, almost. And being at half of the map means that Paul would need to not miss on anything of the section, which won't be easy seeing the stability from OU on the execution of these lands.
And OU so far being quite clean here on this map. There's only 1/3 of the map left. And looking at the lead difference here, this is going to be really hard for Paul to catch up here.
Last quarter of the map, and I think, yeah, this is still it. At 130,000 points of difference is too much.
I mean, unless there's something like a keyboard disconnect from OU there, I think there's not much chance for Paul to catch up there.
Yeah, that or client disconnection from one's side.
Because there's only a couple of seconds here left till the ending of the map here.
And that is it. That sole breakpoint changed the course of the whole match. And that is going to be it for today's match. Not for today's matches overall. But yeah, 5-3, the win goes for OU, who's going to be able to continue next week on the losers brackets. And unfortunately, that's the end for PaulIsGaming. So congratulations to the both players, especially OU advancing for the next phase.
Don't forget Paul, who had quite a great match as well. I mean, the beginning of the match was quite close, so quite a match as well. Now, I think we're gonna have a little bit of break here till the next match, which is gonna be Jerem versus Klamati.
Alright, so this match finished, and right off the bat we're gonna have the next match. So I'm just going to verify which one it is, which is going to be Jerem versus Klamati. There's been a reschedule for the match before Because normally that match, I believe, was at 16 UTC, and it has been scheduled 2 hours in prior. So we're gonna, me and Poketon, commentate the next match in a couple of minutes.
Okay, so stay tuned for that. Stay around, get some water, get a cookie, and yeah, we'll see you in the next match. Bye bye.